Right now, I believe President Donald Trump is going to win re-election in 2020 when it gets down to in November. I'm looking at the tea leaves. Everything seems to be pointing in that direction. The Democrats' gamble on impeachment appears to be taking on water. President Trump and his campaign, a lot of members of the Senate, a lot of Republican leaders have done, in my eyes, a successful job of just making the process seem partisan, not taking it seriously. I'm not saying the Democrats didn't have a strong case. In any other time frame, it could have been all they really needed. Take this same case back to the 1970s. Hey, Trump might have resigned. But it's not the 1970s. It's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. We're going into the third decade of the 21st century. And in this decade, that kind of thing don't matter. It doesn't matter what the rule of law is. What matters is what can you get your people to support. Republicans didn't want to hear anything about whether the president did this, that, or the other. It didn't matter. So when I say President Trump is going to win, and why I think that as I look at the tea leaves right now, it's going to come down to this is shaping to be a turnout election. And in a turnout election, basically what you're trying to do is get all your folk to come out. And the more your folk you can get come out, the better your chances of winning. Right now, Trump has near universal support among Republicans. I'm talking about conservatives, evangelicals, the far right, the middle of the roaders. I mean, he has approval rating like 97, 98%. And the folk who don't support him, they either hightail it out of Dodge or they shut the hell up. They get labeled never Trumpers, backstabbers, traitors, whatever. President Trump has been successful in reshaping that party in his own image. Now, even if he wins the election, which again at this moment appears likely, doesn't mean the party will stay that way. I don't know necessarily if he's going to enjoy that long run of love that Reagan got after Reagan left office. Remember, Reagan was able to win 2 landslide victories. And I don't see Trump winning in a landslide. In order to win a landslide victory, you have to get support from the other side. That's how you run up stakes. Just like the Reagan Democrats. Nixon was able to get support from the Democratic side, and he was able to get 2 solid victories. I mean, he beat the brakes off of McGovern. Just imagine if Nixon was president today. A little Watergate thing, a little break-in. Man, he would not have resigned. And he most likely would not have gotten impeached. But again, this is a different age now. And so everybody's just digging in their heels. So if whoever wins the Democratic nominee is going to face an uphill battle, because that person has to come in and unify the party. And I think it's going to take more than just a hatred of Trump or distaste for Trump in order to convince people to come out. Because you got to understand, for Trump, there's a lot of Democrats that don't like Trump. But there are a lot of Democrats that, hey, tax cut didn't hurt me, right? Yeah, it benefited the rich, but that standard deduction, it helped a lot of people too. Not everyone was able to take advantage of a big mortgage deduction or a lot of charitable contributions. So getting the mortgage deduction up with about $24,400, I think this year is about $24,800, somewhere along in there. That's going to help a lot of people. And so even if they dislike Trump, they might just stay home rather than vote for him. A vote for Trump or a vote not for your opponent is a vote for Trump, which will make Trump win. And I think a lot of people are calculating that, hey, we got through these 4 years, maybe through the skin of our teeth, in some people's eyes, we'll get through another one. After all, it's a great country. I think a lot of people who were hated on Obama, remember, thought he was going to lose. He won a second time, just as handily as he had won the first time. Country still standing. Might be some people thinking the same way. Some people might bank on America, right? No matter how you feel about Trump or whatever, people might just bank on America and say, you know what, we can survive 4 more years of Trump. Not that bad. Evangelicals think that way. A lot of Republicans think that way. So, as of right now, it's looking good for Trump. You saw well, maybe you didn't. Trump was at the game, national championship game. Did that look like a man who's getting ready to lose in November? Did that look like a man whose base wasn't going to come out and vote for him in November? Did that look like a man who lost any bit of his core support? Yeah, Trump is worried about impeachment, but for different reasons than most ordinary people. You know, Trump likes universal praise. You know, and it pains him, upsets him to even have this stain of an impeachment on him. So it stings him a little bit. But nothing that a victory in November couldn't cure. And that's where it looks like we're headed. So, could he still lose? Yeah, he could still lose. Hell, I could still win the lottery. Just wouldn't bank on it.